Welcome to the January 2nd Board of Park Commissioners meeting. Please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers? Mr. Fox?
Here.
Ms. Westfall?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from our December 5th meeting. And after looking over those, if we'd like a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second that. Call the roll.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Approved.
Approved. All right. Next are our committee reports. First up, Mr. Drake. Anything to add to your report?
I do not.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Drake?
None.
All right. Mr. Seiler, do you have anything?
I didn't submit a report, but I just want to give a couple updates. We've been terribly busy at the arena the last few weeks with, we had added some public skating sessions over the holiday break and have had really nice attendance. And also today, as we typically do the first business day of the new year, we started taking shelter reservations for 2018. So those started this morning at 8 o'clock. And people can do those online and also by walking into our offices at the arena.
Do you see people waiting until today and going after it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's people waiting right at 8 o'clock every year.
Okay, great. Okay, any other questions for Mr. Seiler?
No.
Mr. Green, anything to add to your report?
Nothing to add to the report.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Green?
No.
Okay, there's no planning commission report today with Mr. Capper's absence. So, I don't see any old business on the agenda. The new business, first up is to consider the annual list of dates to use Proudy Plaza and other parks area. And that list is at the back. Looks to start in May and run all the way through the end of the year with the Santa House. Anything else to this list, Ms. Knight?
I have nothing to add at this point, but there will be likely things through the year, like the Air Force Band of Flight and Cincinnati Symphony, and maybe we'll be very fortunate and have another event or two want to come to Troy.
Okay, great. So when those come up, you just mention them to the board then, right?
Yes, sometimes depending upon timing, we will email them, and then the board will also make note at their meeting if there has been an intermediate request.
Okay.
And for a couple of things, there may be some special use agreements that you'll be considering, such as some of the events at Treasure Island Park that may include the sale of adult beverages. And those will come to you separately.
Okay. Any questions about the events for Mrs. Knight?
No.
Okay, so I think you'd like a motion?
Yes, please.
Motion to accept the list of events?
And approve them. All right, second that. Please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers? Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
All right,
Approved.
Mrs. Knight, that list is approved. The next item on the agenda is to reappoint Mr. Gary Weaver to another 3-year term for the Miami Shores Golf Advisory Board. Mr. Green, do you have anything else to speak on this? Is anyone else interested in running? Or?
Well, he's going to go ahead and run. We do have one other individual that if somebody does eventually get off, would like to run, keeping his resume on file. He filled it out for me, so I'll have a list for you on the next meeting on that one. So at this time, we just need to renew him. Everybody else is going to be renewed too. That is up. But I think the only one else is Rick Zabo, because he fulfilled the rest of the term for Bob Knight.
Okay, so Rick
So,
Zabo is for right now as
Yeah,
well?
right. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell her about that, but he was just a fill-in, and I forgot about that. His runs out at the end of Bob and I's term, which would have been December 31st. So he needs to be renewed for another 3-year term.
Okay, and then the other member that you have on file, you'll pass that along to the
Right.
next golf director once
Right.
we get that position
So,
filled. Okay, so right now I think we need a motion to appoint Gary Weaver and Rick Zabo to the Miami Shores Golf Advisory Board for another 3-year term.
Motion to accept them to another board term.
All right, and I second that. Please call the roll.
Mr. Fox?
Yes,
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
that is approved. Mr. Green, please let Gary Weaver and Rick Zabo know.
Yeah, I will.
Thank them for committing to do that.
Certainly will, thank you.
Okay, that's the new business that we have on the agenda. Is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up today to the commissioners? Yes, please come up and state your name and address, please.
My name is Stephen Feaster. I live in Huber Heights, 8837 Lion Street, Huber Heights 45424. I am the president of a company called Golf Course Asset Marketing. And we do something rather unique. And I have a client that when I approached them, they said, can you talk to Troy about the golf courses? And I will, it's very simple what we do, but again, it's rather unique. Approach.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Sir, do you have a copy for the record?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What we do is very simple. You guys have an asset that you guys lease from a company, and and what we do is we take that asset, and if you flip to the second, you see exactly what we do. Kettering Health Network asked that I approach you guys in order to see if they could put their logo on the golf carts. And they put, what we do is we put a logo on the front of the golf cart and 2 small ones on the side. This is what they look like. They've done very high quality. We maintain the golf carts, the logos, and we share the revenue with the courses. So it's a very simple proposition. We go out and get clients. They put their logos on, we put the logos on the golf carts. We share the revenue with the city.
Okay.
And since they're building the hospital, they most definitely want to make a big splash in the community, and this is a way. The program lasts from May 1st through October 31st.
And then at which time you look to replace that, and then next year you go out and get a different sponsor?
Yes. Yes. I have a contract with the city of Dayton, and this will be the first year that we do it with them, and I've already sold probably about 30% of the carts that they have.
What is the cost?
Pardon?
What is the cost?
The advertiser pays $70 per month per cart.
Okay.
And then is that split 50-50 between your company and the course?
Depending on the contract that you sign with us, is between 25 and 35%. The longer the contract is 35, the shorter 25.
Okay. Anything else that you like to mention about it for us?
I love to work with you guys. This is going to be, I started the company last year, but back in 2000, I initially bought it out. I got sick and suspended the business. I'm bringing it back, and companies are looking for ways to sort of expand the reach, and so they like the idea because golf is such a the demographic of golfers. They're ideal demographic for advertisers and companies that want to market. One of the companies is an RV, and that's an older demographic, people who have fluency, and so they want to reach that, and golf is a perfect sport for it.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions?
So that's 70 a month, is that per cart?
Per cart, $70 per month per cart.
Okay.
And
What I think right now is, I don't know if you know, we're currently in the process of Mr. Green's retiring, and we're looking at getting a replacement for him. Have you guys talked already about this at all, or is this the?
Well, he called me about his advertising on the cards.
Okay.
The only question I have is, you're saying you're here on behalf of Kettering Health Net?
No, I'm here.
For yourself?
But
That's just one of your clients?
that's just one of my clients, yes.
I kind of misunderstood when I talked to you. I thought they wanted to do all 50 cards.
Yeah, when I approached them, because the hospital, they're building the hospital.
Right.
Her eyes got huge.
Right.
And because she liked the idea, but then when she asked me, do you have Troy? And I said, no. And she said, would you approach them and she'd be interested in all the carts again to make a big splash when they open the hospital.
So they are interested in doing all 50 cards?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And now, if they did all 50, then you wouldn't sell any other advertisings on the cards, right?
All the carts will be gone. I understand
Right.
that you guys have 50.
Right.
If they want to buy 35 or 40, that,
So it would be up to Kettering Health Network?
yes, yes.
So you don't know if they want all 50 or not? You just,
That's what she initially said to me, that they would want all 50. But again, depending on what their budgets are and what the higher-ups within her organization says, but she's very interested in doing a lot.
otherwise, you would go out and solicit to other companies to
Yes.
advertise whatever cards you remain.
Primarily local companies, because the companies here are interested in selling to the people locally, and so that's our approach.
But you say you do them by the month,
Each cart is sold by the month.
so they
There's
can buy just a month worth of advertising?
No, it's a
Okay.
minimum of 3 months. They have to do 3 months.
That's their minimum?
That's the minimum. Because very few people are out on your golf course today. So we only go out
Right.
from May 1st through October 31st. That's the primary golf season. And we want to maximize the exposure for the advertiser as well.
Now, are these just decals that can be taken right off then?
Oh, yes, they're high quality, 3M, high quality vinyl decal. They pull off, but my company, we will take care of putting them on, taking them off at the end of the season. It leaves no residue on the fiberglass. We maintain everything. If a golfer scratches a decal, we replace it because we have to maintain the integrity of the client's brand.
Okay, I have one other question. If, let's say you only sell 25. Are we obligated to put those 25 out every day? Because we rotate our carts according, how they go out every day, so that we don't use the same ones over and over.
What we ask is that you put the ones with the logos out
Right.
first, but if we sell all of them, that rotation is, we don't change anything that you guys do.
I mean, if I'm only going to need 25 carts for a particular day, do I have to put those 25 out, or is that up to me, depending on what the day before was like?
That's up to you.
Because
and
we
again-
rotate them, so we don't use the same ones.
Right,
Okay.
right. Our goal is to not, well, it's not our goal, but we don't want to change any of your the,
Maintenance practices and the way we.
none, none whatsoever. And if you have to take some offline, that's fine.
Do we have any obligation to offer that to other businesses, or?
Pardon?
I'm not sure if we have an obligation to offer that to any other local businesses, or do we just,
Mrs.
I don't-
Westfall, if I may.
yes?
I would suggest that the gentleman provide us with a draft contract so we
Sure.
could look at it, but we'd also have to refer this to our Director of Law. As a statutory city, there are very specific guidelines about how we go about allowing access to public property that, some may require specific bidding or something in that nature. So we would have to thoroughly investigate that,
Okay,
just to make sure that we keep everything what should be.
right.
We don't, we go out and solicit local businesses, and in some cases, regional banks, for instance. Some banks have shown interest. And, we're capitalists, so, we
Sure.
don't turn anyone down. And whether it be local or regional, we offer it to everyone.
Okay,
Now, you guys would have say, we wouldn't put anything derogatory on there. We sit down with you and say, for instance, Monster Drink or something like that. Majority of municipalities don't want beer, wine, things like that, so we wouldn't go after places like that. But there are courses that don't mind having Budweiser carts or anything like that.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you could send that draft agreement potentially to Mr. Green and Mrs. Knight. And we also had another item last week about potential golf course, or last month about golf course sponsorship for signage. And we decided to table that until we have a new golf director and kind of go over some of that with them.
Okay.
I think the plan for that is coming up in March timeframe. So I think that would be a good time once we get our new golf director and Mrs. Knight can go over with the appropriate parties, then maybe we can continue the conversation at that point.
Okay, the golf course, the golf carts is just one of many programs we have specifically for golf courses in order to generate revenue, just simply because the fees, not necessarily the fees, but the maintenance of golf courses are going up. The golfers, the pool is getting smaller. And so what we've come up with are different ways to generate revenue where it requires no capital, no investment from the courses, and we generate the revenue for you.
Okay.
I thank you guys very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
If I could get a card of someone.
Yes, right after the meeting, sir. Be
Okay,
glad to do
thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to say anything? No, Ms. Knight?
No, sir.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
second that. Meeting